Of course, local secretary, Professor T. Manohar, who has been very busy throughout the year to organize this. I am very thankful to the outgoing General President, who is still the President unless the installation takes place, Professor Kesavan Veluthat. Sir, we benefited a lot from you in the entire year, and we really hope that you will keep on providing this leadership to us even in the future. And then, of course, Professor Aditya Mukherjee, the incoming president, we will be installing him very shortly. Professor Aditya Mukherjee has always been not only a great scholar, but also one of those who is always to help anybody who seeks any type of academic help from him. He has been an inspiration for the Congress, and now within a few minutes he will be taking charge of this organization, which, as has been pointed out at the very beginning of this session, Indian History Congress is a body which stands for secular scientific approach towards our past. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, all these scholars sitting here, all executive members, all sectional presidents, all of us know that we are passing through very difficult times. A time when history is being reduced to mythology. All, writing of the past, which should have depended on primary sources or on certain facts, are now being forgotten and are being replaced by what we want to believe. And I think that this organization, Indian History Congress, which we are representing today, has a great duty to give to arrest this situation which is prevailing in our country since a few decades. Perhaps we are the only organization which has always fought against any type of onslaught towards the understanding of our past. Whether it was the emergency imposed by one of the prime ministers of the country, it was only the Indian History Congress, led by people like Bipan Chandra, Irfan Habib, Satish Chandra, and other historians. They were those who led from the front without fearing what would happen to them. It was this body which today we are once again the 82nd session which is taking place of this body. It was again in the forefront when our country was faced with a crisis in 1992. Perhaps all those historians who were associated with Indian History Congress, only they had the courage to speak up and fight for what was right. Today, as other attempts are being made to disturb our past, to break our civilization, to divide our people, I think once again our historians are fighting from the forefront. Types of histories which are circulating in the market based on our own personal beliefs, it is we who are challenging them. So I hope and I wish that all the members of this Indian History Congress who have assembled here, and I must report it here, that there are more than 1,067 or so papers which have already been listed in our first list. There are other papers also which we received late, and we are now going to bring out a supplementary list. That supplementary list would be issued only tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, and I would request all the sectional presidents here that permitting time, all of our members should be adjusted and given a chance. But I must request our members that please in future try to maintain the time limits which we mention on our website. I would also like to request all of you, because that is something which I felt that I should speak from here, is that although we have a running website, howsoever bad, it is still very crude. But what I feel is that most of our members are not at all visiting it. Because had they visited it, then perhaps they would not have been asking us how to become member, what to do, what to fill. Every information of that type has been uploaded on our website. Please go and see it, and in future, try to include your papers in the first list itself. There are two announcements, two things which I would like to mention. As I said that I won't be giving any speech because there are too many speeches which are to be given here. First of all, I would like to apologize for one fault of mine. And that is that usually we have a panel, a special panel on Dalit history, which takes place every year. But somehow, I can't explain how, I missed the email which had been sent to me by Professor Chinna Rao. And I kept on wondering, why is it that Dalit panel is not taking place? And I thought that perhaps this year they are not going to hold it, and that is why in this list of papers you will find its mentioning missing. But when I reached Warangal on 25th and met Professor Chinna Rao, he not only protested but pointed out that he did send an email which I had somehow missed from having a look. The panel is going to be held. So there are 3 panels which would be held, one by AHS, the other by Indian History Congress itself. The Indian History Congress has decided that every year we would hold one panel on the region itself where the Indian History Congress is being held. And that is why we decided that this time the panel would be on Deccan, past and present. Every year, Professor Irfan Habib holds a panel of Aligarh Historian Society. Unfortunately, he could not come due to his advanced age, but the panel which he does will take place, and a keynote address to that would be delivered in his name. One more thing which I would like to inform you is that unfortunately, only yesterday I was informed that the sectional president of Medieval India, Professor Najaf Haider, is quite unwell, and he will not be able to come to attend the session. So one thing which we would do is, because he has already submitted his address, it has been printed, it will be distributed, and I take the permission of the present chairman, of the present team, that he should allow me that Najaf Haider's sectional presidential address should be taken as read. We would make other arrangements for who else, which of the senior professors would be officiating on behalf of Najaf Haider and sitting and leading the Medieval India section. Before we start with the transition, 2 very important announcements which I would like to make. The proceedings of the Indian History Congress of the last year are generally distributed from the second day. And sometimes our members somehow miss to get a copy. So this time I have decided that the proceedings would be distributed from day one itself. From today, after lunch, the distribution of the proceedings would start, and it would continue up to the last date. So please, all the members are requested, whosoever are there, show your AM number or LM number and take your proceedings from the counter, which is just outside. As I said that there would be a supplementary list. So for that, some supplementary list, which would be issued tomorrow, please, we would try to accommodate everyone, but from next year, make it, a point that don't submit your papers at the last moment. With these brief announcements, I'm sorry, in spite of saying that I would not deliver a speech, I have taken much time. Now I would start with the installation ceremony, and I would request Professor K.M. Shrimali, our former president, to come on the stage and propose the name of our incoming president, Professor Aditya Mukherjee. Please, Professor K.M. Shrimali, if you can hear me, come here.
He's behind you.
Oh, please, please, sir.